That's cool, black hole. How'd you make that, Jamie? I'll tell you. First, we'll make the shader. We'll get a plane, scale it on the y-axis, add in a noise texture, add a mapping node, add a texture coordinate node, hook them all up, and we've got some nice noise. Scale the noise in on the x-axis, now we've got it all nice and squished. Add in a color ramp, take in the black and white points, and we'll get a bit more contrast. Notice now we move the y-axis on the mapping node, we can make it look like it's going back and forward. That's nice. Add a combine XYZ node, hook it up into the location. Now we add a value node, put it into the y-axis there, and then here's a fun little secret. Write hashtag frame in the value node there, and that number will equal our frame number, which means if we press play, it's going to move on its own. But hey, it's going too fast. Don't worry, we can slow it down. Add in a math node, change it to multiply, make the number smaller than 1, then it's going to go slower. I did 0.1. No, that didn't work, I did minus 0.05. Cool. Now look at it, it's whooshing towards us. That's all well and cool, but let's put in an emission shader. Make sure you're in cycles, and if I make this pretend little cubey spaceship, you can see that it's lighting it up. That's cool. Wow. Now if we make a world shader and put in a star map, we're in space! But hey, the black parts should be see-through, so let's add a transparent BSDF, and then pump our emission shader and our transparent shader into a mix shader, then take our noise and put that as a mix factor. What do we want color? Okay, add in another color ramp between the noise texture and the emission, and then pick some colors, whatever you like. Maybe purple, maybe blue, it's up to you! Play around with the color ramps until you get an effect that you think is cool. Now look, it's zooming past us, that's cool, but that's not a ring. Okay, add a circle, extrude it out a bit, add on our shader. That doesn't look right, that's because we need to UV map. Select an edge here, do an edge split. Now we move this face, you can see we've made a ring. Cool. Then select all the polygons, then unwrap them with the minimum stretch. We've got a wonky line, let's make it straight. Select these edges, press SX0, these ones, SX0, this one, SY0, SY0. Now we got two perfect squares. Select them, press A, right click, follow active quads. Then we move these out. We have a cool UV map that look, now it's a ring and it's moving. And let's be lazy and just tuck that over there, no one will notice. Add a subdivision surface and it will be nice and smooth. But the edge is too hard, we need it to fall off on a ramp. We'll add a ramp and then play around with the sliders, nothing's working. What do? Add in some texture coordinates, make it UV, and play around with the black and white sliders. No, it's still not working. Okay, we need to do some maths. Rotate on the z-axis by 45 degrees. Add black and white points onto your ramp like this. Then for some maths reasons, change the X scale to 2. Play around with the black and white points. Then you could get something like this, where it's white in the middle, black on the edge. Let's move this up here, keep it tidy. Then multiply our noise by our new edge ramp. Cool, that's better. Pump that into the factor of our mix shader now instead. If you're like me, realize you've done it the wrong way, flip these around. And hey, that's not too bad. Play around with all your sliders until you get something that you like. But hey, a black hole has a hole in the middle. Let's make the hole. Add in the sphere, add a subdivision surface. Remember to shade smooth. Scale it up so it tickles the edge of the ring. Make a shader for our hole, call it hole. Delete the principal BSDF, we don't need that. And add a refraction BSDF. Now look, it does things with light. Not what we want, so add a layer weight node, take the facing, put it into the IOR, and then play around with this blend value, and different things will happen. But our ring is pointing the wrong way. Fun little math trick, if we take 1 and divide it by a value that we want to make smaller, it'll invert it, kind of, something. Look, now it goes the right way. That's kind of like a black hole, maybe. If you're like me, play around with the values and not be really happy about it, but keep trying, I guess. Making the edge of the ring bigger kinda helped. If we want this bit to feel a bit more thicker and voluminous, we can just duplicate it a bunch of times. But then if you're like me and you wanted to make this kind of shot from Interstellar and it wasn't really working, you can just cheat it. Who cares? No one will know. It's all about what your camera can see. It doesn't really matter what's actually going on. Make it work for the frame. That's what I did. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. If this was useful, I guess like it or share it or something. Thank you. Bye.